Alright, so we are working on parabola equations where we have got multiple x values. Alright, so let's say that you've got the equation y is equal to, let's say 2x squared, we'll say minus 4x plus 3. Alright, so looks fairly scary whenever you look at it, okay? You've got a leading coefficient of 2 in the first term. Negative 4 for our b value, and our c value is going to be 3. So let's label that and kind of explain where we're at. So this 2 is going to be our a value, negative 4 is going to be our b value, and 3 is our c value. So our format is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. All right, this is kind of like the format that we use. It's just a general outline, okay? So there's a couple of points that we want to find first, all right? The first thing we want to find is our y-intercept. Okay, y-intercept is going to be pretty easy to find. All right, so y-intercept in this case, well, how would you find the y-intercept normally? Okay, you input 0 for your x value. You run it through the whole equation, and then you figure out, all right, well, what is our y value after we've input 0? Okay, so my y-intercept in this case, 2 times 0 squared, well, that's going to give me 0, minus 4x. Well, the x is still 0, okay, so we multiply that by 0 again, plus 3. So my y-intercept is going to be pretty easy. It's going to be 0, comma, 3. All right, the second thing that I want to do is I want to find my vertex. Okay, because this is going to be a curling graph. It's either going to be curling infinitely down, or it's going to be curling infinitely up. Based on our leading coefficient, we know that this is going to be curling infinitely upward. All right, our leading coefficient is 2. It is a positive value. It's greater than 0, and so it's going to curl upward. So what's the equation for our vertex? So our equation is going to be just a piece of the quadratic equation. So we're going to say x is equal to negative b all over 2 times a. Okay, well, we got to plug that through, and we have to figure out what our x value is going to be. So we're going to say our b value is negative 4. Okay, I'm going to come over here right then. So x is equal to negative 4, but it's a double negative pretty much. Okay, we've got a negative 4, so that's going to become a positive 4 all over 2 times a. Well, 2 times 2. Okay, so now we've got x is equal to 4 over 4, and we know that x is just going to be equal to 1. All right, so x is equal to 1. So that might scare you a little bit at first. Okay, you might see that and think a little bit confusing, but not too tricky now. So I'm going to come back over here. We're going to say x is equal to 1. I'm going to leave that equation right there. And let's erase this. Okay, so those are the first 2 points that I'm going to want to find, going to want to graph out. Last thing that I want to do is I just want to graph the entire equation. So that's like the third thing I want to do. Okay, so make a table, make a graph, kind of the same process. I'm going to put x on top, I'm going to put y below, and I'm going to put, let's put about 5. Let's go 5 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we've got 5. Okay, so what's going to be our middle value? Well, x is equal to 1, that's going to be our middle value. So we input 1, all right? We haven't got an output yet. So now we have to say y is equal to 2x, which in our case is 1, squared, minus 4 times 1, plus 3. Okay, 1 squared is going to get you 1. So next thing we're going to say is 1 times 2, which is going to give us 1. 4 times 1 is going to leave us with 4, so it's going to stay a minus 4. Okay, and we've got plus 3. Well, what's 2 minus 4? 2 minus 4 is going to get us negative 2. All right, what is negative 2 plus 3? All right, that's going to leave us with 1. So y is equal to 1. So we input 1, we get an output of 1. All right, now we kind of move a little bit right and left from that. So what's 1 greater than 1, 2, 3, okay? We can keep doing that more if we wanted to. I don't want to do it too terribly much, so. And we're going to have -1 right here, okay? So seeing as we are spaced even increments away from our vertex, which is this middle point right here, we know that we're going to get an output of 3 whenever we input 0. Likewise, the mirror image is going to be this 2. It's still 1 away from 1, so we get an output of 3. All right, now we are going to input either a -1 or a +3, and then we're going to fill in the space in between. Okay, so let's say for our equation again, we're going to re-input. We're going to say y is equal to 2, and then x in our case is a -1 squared minus 4 times -1, and then we're going to say plus 3. Okay, what's -1 squared? Well, 1. Okay, times 2 is just going to give us 2. All right, what is -4 times -1? That's going to be a +4, so now we're going to say plus 4 instead of -4, and plus 3. Okay, 2 plus 4 gets us 6. 6 plus 3 gets us 9. All right, so we input -1 and we get an output of 9. So let's come back up here and let's say 9. 9 for that one. And let's graph this out. Okay, so most of these, if you graph, are going to be a lot larger. Mine's going to be just a tad bit smaller. See if we can get a better one. Okay, most of these are going to go off the graph a little bit more. Let's start with our vertex. Okay, vertex is going to be at 1, 1. Okay, we're curling infinitely upwards, so let's go to our y-intercept, which is going to be 0, 3. And then the mirror image, which is going to be 2, 3. And then we've got the point 3, 9, and it's going to have a mirror image. Excuse me. 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And then we're going to say -1, 9. Okay? And this is what my parabola is going to look like. Okay? I'll step back a little bit, let you see all my work, and that's it.